Welcome to the 9th of November, 2023. My name is Jimmy Bradbury. I help people create online businesses around their passion, their skill set, their hobby, whatever it is they're interested in. They want to share that knowledge and experience with other people to help those people move forward in their lives and also get paid doing it. Now, this is something I have talked about before, so forgive me if I've told you this, but believe me, if you've got an online business, your number one asset is your email list, period. Because with an email list, you can control the communication with the people, with your audience, with your customers, with your prospects, which is something you can't do on, as good as it is, social media. So a couple of weeks ago, I've told this story before, so I say, forgive me, but I know a lot of people come in new and a lot of people watch it in replay. I got approached by somebody in Venezuela. She is a big influencer down there on Instagram. She's got 500,000 followers, and she came to me to look for help. So why would you think with somebody with 500,000 followers would come and look to me for help to create an online business? Well, she's got 500 million followers, but she's broke. And the reason why she's broke is, one, she's got no offers, but got a big following. And number two, she isn't able to communicate properly with her audience. It depends on the algorithm and how you're interacting with the algorithm. So always have an email list. And it doesn't have to be a big email list, but it does have to be an email list that's engaged with people who really like what it is you do. And you've got the ability to be able to help with their particular problems. So my question was, would you rather have 100,000 people follow you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, or would you rather have 1,000 people engaged on your email list? For me, 1,000 people engaged on my email list. I've just sent out an email to my audience today about something that I've got coming up in December that I'm going to relaunch, version 2 of my LinkedIn Launch Academy online course. And I know that email is going to land in their inbox. I can see it, like in my back end, in my analytics, I can actually see that those people have received it. Whether or not they've opened it, they've actually received it. But when you're giving that message out on social media, you cannot be guaranteed that your message will land with your audience. And beyond that, I believe there's 3 ways or 3 things that are really important about email marketing. Number one, it really is important to build that trust, that people know, like, and trust you. And I believe you can only do that over a period of time, knowing that your content, your story, your message is landing with your audience. And we know that with social media, that's not always going to be the case. So you might have watched this video that I told this story about 2 weeks ago, and you didn't actually see it. But I know that if I told this story and I sent it out by email, I'd know that you got it 2 weeks ago, and I know you got it today. So that's the power. And it's important that you have that consistency when you're building your audience. So that's number one, to get that know, like, and trust factor bedded in so that you can help them on their journey, the customer journey, through a number of steps. Number one, the step is telling them about your story arc. What is your story that you want to communicate to your audience? With social media, we're putting content out there and it's dropping. And as I said just a moment ago, it depends on whether or not they receive it. But if you're telling your story over a period, an arc of your story through email, it helps to build that know, like, and trust factor. Number one. Number two, you're able to then demonstrate the value that you're able to give to your audience. Again, with social media, you're giving these kind of posts, which are great and they're consistent, and these lives are great, but they're only giving that veneer, the kind of slither of what you're truly about. If you're able to put that in much deeper into an email and put it out to your audience and know that your audience are receiving, it's going to help you build that trust on a much deeper level. I talk about this a lot with my newsletters, but with your email and email marketing, it's exactly the same thing. And number three, which I believe commercially, if you're in this for business as opposed to just social, it's so important that your audience see your offers. And I know that with a lot of people, they drive people to their newsletter, which is great, absolutely, to get that content and get the depth of it, but they're not getting to see all of their offers. And it's important that you show people your offers so that they see that full range of services that you can give to people before getting them into your newsletter or that long form piece of content that you're putting out there. So that's another great reason for having email marketing. And at the end of the day, if you're logging on to one of the social media platforms, you're using your email to log in to those platforms. Social media and email is kind of intertwined, and email is not going away, at least in the short term. And I know a lot of people poo-poo emails because they're getting spammed a lot. But I believe, and this is a very intrinsic thing with me, is that if your mission is tied to sharing your story and that you like to communicate in terms of storyboarding to your audience, you'll want to love to do emails. And you've got to think of it like that. Otherwise, what happens is you think of emails as though it's another task that you've got to do. Oh my gosh, do I have to do email again today? And that's because you're not tying it into what you really want to do. You're not tying it into communicating with your audience, because you've got this internal stuff going on that your audience don't want all these emails, or they feel they're getting spammed. No, if you're tying it into your story and communicating with people through that story arc and through storyboarding and doing it in a way that's interesting and emotionally connecting with your audience, you love doing it. And you have this opportunity to write, create great content, and with the press of a button, get to people all around the world. I just sent an email out to my audience today. Yeah, I've been doing this for 5 years, so I've got thousands of people on my email list, but I write an email that takes me an hour today and I send it, and I can already see it. 20% of the people I've sent it to have already opened my email. Like 20% of thousands of people, that's huge. And we can do that with email. So it's not going away. It's a very powerful tool, but you've got to do it in a way that really connects with your audience. And you've got to look at it as though you're telling a story and you're storyboarding. So hopefully that's been helpful for you today. Wherever you are in the world, if you want to get more of this kind of stuff, my newsletter on a Sunday comes out, and I'll put a link below here and you can join it. Wherever you're in the world, have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.